Hi there everybody, this is David, and today I want to talk about 25 indie RPGs that I'm totally looking forward to. We just got done with Indie Quest where we saw like 37 of these things and they were all great, but I'm gonna narrow it down to about 25 here for y'all. 25 that I think are like the creme de la creme, you know what I mean? So first up, we got Crystal Project 2. I loved the first game, and the sequel here looks to be more of the same. It has huge class customization, exploration, all sorts of like secrets hidden everywhere, and the freedom to just kind of like wander off and break progression if you're clever enough, just do whatever the hell you want. The first game already kind of had that like open world meets old school Final Fantasy V thing, but the sequel is even more ambitious. There's no random encounters, no loading screens, no invisible walls, and apparently there's no missables either, which is great. There's still platforming and exploration. It just looks to be like a little bit more involved, you know what I mean? It's like taking everything that the first game did right and then like stepping it up a notch. It looks fantastic. Next up, we have Full Circle. This one here immediately gave me like PlayStation 1 era vibes. It feels like Legend Dragoon meets Xenogears and all the rest of like those PlayStation 1 classics, and they mashed them all together, took the best of the best in the best way. The story is that humanity escaped in like these floating cities after the world basically just collapsed, and now civilization is split between the skies and then the ruins below. The battle system is straight up right out of Legend of Dragoon with the timed button inputs, the addition system, so I do love that nod. There's also like side-scrolling exploration and like a 2D art style, but what really sold me was like this giant Mode 7 airship style, like floating around and flying around, and the world map and everything. Like, it looks great. I'm a simple man. Show me a cool airship and overworld map and I am there. Next up, we have Infinite Alliance. This is like a huge love letter to classic turn-based RPGs. It's got this old school Chrono Trigger style world map, a huge cast of characters all coming together, each from their own indie RPG. But the best part is, it is free. Completely free. It's not gacha free, it's just free. They want you to play like the original games, which are for sale, and that's how they're funding this one. So like, don't be all cynical about it. There also seems to be tons of content, it's turn-based, and it just looks like a love letter to SNES RPG fans, and I am definitely the target audience for that. Then at number 4, we have Edge of Memories. To me, it doesn't even look like an indie game. It looks like a AA sort of game, you know, the games that kind of publishers kind of throw out there during the good old days, like during the PlayStation 2 age, or like Square used to do during 2022 when they put out a whole ton of RPGs all in like a 3-month period, but hey, whatever. These production values look great. There's full voice acting, there's flashy action combat, there's these great environments too. It says that the world of Avarice is being destroyed by a disease called corrosion, and it mutates people into monsters. And then you play as this girl Aline, who's trying to stop everything from collapsing. And there's a demo out on June the 15th. Number 5, Emery Hearts. This here looks like somebody took 3D Game Heroes, Minecraft, and then Golden Sun, and they mixed them all together into a great little action RPG. There's this pixel art style that's like a charming, kind of clunky Minecraft-y look, but underneath that graphical style, there's this Golden Sun thing there, where you have to use magic to solve puzzles and like navigate the world. The story follows Lug, who's a regular kid caught between humans and machines in a world that's falling apart. I really like the whole retro thing that it's giving off, I like the whole style of it, and I immediately love the Golden Sun thing too, of course. Number 6, Robot Rhapsody. This is from the creators of Beloved Rapture, and I loved Beloved Rapture. It actually won my Indie RPG of the Year award last year. But while Beloved Rapture was more knights, medieval, wizards, and, you know, warlocks and all that kind of stuff, this one is much more sci-fi, with humanity trapped inside of like AI-controlled utopias, and then there's like resistance groups trying to survive underneath all that fake utopian perfection. So it does seem a bit more story-heavy and a bit kind of different this time. Visually, it's still gorgeous. The pixel art is absurd. It looks great, just like Beloved Rapture did. I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us. Number 7, Alariel's Blessing. Forgive me if I didn't pronounce it right. Name your RPG something normal. I don't know what to tell you. So, this is kind of like a more niche experimental RPG. It's taking mechanics from all over the place. The combat's turn-based, but it uses like a grid system, kind of like Popa LaCroix mixed with Mega Man Battle Network, but there's no random battles, which is nice. But the art style, though, is kind of like this Western comic book thing, and it's not anime, which also made it stand out. The story also sounds a little bit darker and more mature, too, following 3 different mercenaries and a goddess refusing to let them die. There's voice acting, there's tactical combat, there's more of like a tragic tone here, so it just seems like a little bit more heavy than something that we would traditionally see here, which I'm totally about. Number 8, Diorama Break. This immediately stood out to me because of just like how insanely good the presentation looks. The art style is beautiful, the music is incredible, and the whole game just feels really, polished. But what really makes it unique is the tone. This is a tactical RPG, but you can directly talk to the protagonist, whether the protagonist wants you to or not, which could be kind of fun, I've gotta say. The battles are, again, grid-based and strategic, but there's these awkward conversations and self-aware humor, which could be a big part of the identity too. It just seems interesting and weird, and I just kind of want to see more. Number 9, Stories of Somnia. Another absolutely gorgeous game. It's got this dreamy autumnal atmosphere, but also a Paper Mario style, and a very eternal night sort of setting. It's a Metroidvania kind of game, where your spells aren't just used for combat, but they're also used for exploration, kind of again like Golden Sun. You'll be grappling across gaps, manipulating the world itself, and using magic to completely change combat encounters. Everything about it just looks so cool, and it almost reminds me of Scheherazade and 1001 Arabian Nights. I don't know, I'm just kind of getting that vibe here. Number 10, Save Seeker. This is actually one of the more interesting, cool, unique concepts that I've seen lately. There's this girl and her dragon, and they're out there to stop her father from destroying the world. But the catch is, it's her dad, so she doesn't actually want to hurt him. Her father's out there trying to remove magic from the world, thinking that, he's actually being the hero and doing a good thing. But in reality, he's actually the villain. So she goes out to try to stop him the only way that she knows how, by overriding his save points. It's super cute and it's turn-based and it just seems like a whole lot of fun. Next up at 11, we have Codex Eternal Eclipse. Again, gorgeous pixel art, there's timing-based combat, there's these giant corporations and gods and bizarre enemies, and apparently karma systems affecting fate itself. The combat is giving off Paper Mario vibes with the timed hits and all the dodges, but it does seem like there's more to it than that. There's also 4 main protagonists all searching for their own truths and their own story, while at the same time uncovering a giant world-ending mystery. It looks really neat. Number 12, Lul and the Liar of Two Worlds. I already covered the demo for this one, and I loved what I saw there in the demo. The combat uses the positioning mechanics, kind of like Radiant Historia, where you're pushing and pulling enemies around the battlefields into traps that you set up, and you can set up combos and all that kind of stuff too. There's also a turn point system where you don't use MP to use your abilities. Each ability has its own amount of turn points, so you kind of use that instead. So it's really strategic, and it's a throwback to older RPGs with inspiration from Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, and even Secret of the Stars too. So yeah, just kind of a cool one here. Number 13, The Grey Elegy. When I first saw this, I immediately thought of the Atelier games. Just everything gave me that feeling, and it's also a storybook-inspired art direction, instead of a fantasy atmosphere. I don't know, it just looks different. It looks a lot more just cuter and nicer, you know what I mean? Combat's fully turn-based, there's a visual turn or to gauge, and the story follows a boy and a girl tied together by fate in a world balanced between light and shadow, which also gave me Eternal Sonata vibes too. It's just kind of a refreshing, different take on an indie RPG, and I'm here for it. Number 14, Lie of the Kalum Spirit. This screams Xenogears at me from every single direction, and that's like the best compliment I could possibly give an indie RPG, I've got to say. It has these great 3D environments, pixel art, giant mech combat, class conflicts, conspiracy plots, and even like philosophy and Sigmund Freud. It is all here. The combat system looks really involved too, with time combination inputs, perfect guards, critical time mechanics, and unique characters as well. Of the whole show, this was one of the ones that really did stand out to me one of the most. Number 15, Beastario. Here we have an RPG that's actually inspired by Spanish folklore and mythology, so that's already different, you know? We don't really see that a whole lot. The aesthetic is kind of like this earthy toned pastel thing going on. Combat's turn-based, but with strong Persona influences as well, including social sim elements. But it's that, again, Spanish mythology that really interests me. I just kind of want to see something different. You know what I mean? I want to see different gods and goddesses, different enemies. I want to see something different than what I've normally already seen from like English and Japanese mythology here. So can't wait to see what we got going on here. Number 16, Starless Umbra. This is like a lost SNES action RPG, but now it's been found. It has great pixel art, and it also has couch co-op support, multiple party members, puzzle-filled dungeons, and real-time combat that just looks great. The story follows Amalia searching for a missing friend through a world consumed by a toxic fog, and everything about the presentation just screams classic. I cannot wait. We hardly ever get like couch co-op RPGs, so it's nice to see something in that realm. Number 17, Infinity Knight's Cross. This one is also couch co-op, and it feels like the Mana series crossed with Musou combat, but also like town building mechanics. You've got 3-player co-op, huge enemy swarms, giant worlds, crafting system, and like this whole immortality theme surrounding the Infinity Knights themselves too. Kind of like Lost Odyssey as well. And again with the Mana, they even got the same composer from that series too. I do wish that everything was just like a little bit bigger though, kind of like the Mana games. I don't want to copy it too much, but things just seem kind of small here, you know what I mean? So hopefully they do fix that in the final version. Number 18, Toda Brava. This again is another Latin American, Spanish-inspired game, but this is fully hand-drawn with anthropomorphic animals everywhere. It feels like a cartoon, you know, from another universe. The inspirations are there from Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, Breath of Fire, and even Vagrant Story. So it looks great. The combat takes place right on the field, there's ATB timing mechanics, like it looks wonderful. Number 19, One Phoenix Down. I actually already played an earlier, like pre-alpha version of this game, like a year or so ago. It was quite some time ago, but I enjoyed what I played there, but what I saw in this trailer, like it is above and beyond what I played a year ago. They've been working a lot on it. This feels like all the SNES Final Fantasy is kind of like brought together, you know what I mean? It's very SNES inspired, but it's built in RPG Maker, but it still looks fantastic. There's a huge cast of playable characters, straightforward turn-based combat, airships, betrayal, war, redemption, everything good is right here. Number 20, Wicked Knight, Holy Knights. This is actually a sequel to the first game, and it looks like a huge step up from that. This is essentially Fire Emblem, you know, Game Boy Advance inspired Fire Emblem, with dual protagonists from opposing factions trying to stabilize their land before the entire world collapses. There's a ton of customization, there's over 100 different playable classes, reforging and crafting systems, relationship mechanics that actually affect your battle performance, and there's no annoying weapon durability system either. You know, those systems that actually punish you for using your own weapons? Yeah, none of that either, thank God. This is like a love letter to classic Fire Emblem, and I like that. Number 21, My Familiar. I played the demo for My Familiar again a while ago. It was last year, but maybe 6 or so months ago. I put out a video about it and I really enjoyed it. It was very different from most indie RPGs because it starts off with like a real day or whatever, but the guy commits suicide and then he ends up in like this demonic weird version of a grimy inner city demon world, you know? It's full of corruption, full of attitude, full of crime. And you play as a familiar navigating this city, and you fight in turn-based battles, and you like rap at your enemies to defeat them. It's just kind of like hysterical. The art style is great. It's very, very different from the others. Sorry for the little pause there. I had to grab Kupo. She was kind of bothering me, and she wants me to throw her little ball. But yeah, so here she is. Number 22, Seed of Nostalgia. We're almost done, but Kupo will join us. So this has some really pretty pixel art. Every screenshot that I've seen looks ridiculous. There's gorgeous world maps, massive airships, cute environments. It's just beautiful. It's classic turn-based combat with visible turn order systems, timed attacks, class mechanics, no random encounters, tons of party customization too. It has a huge world to explore as the cast tries to save their dying land. Next up at 23, we have Sacrifier. So kind of like the other games here, I've played this before, but it was an earlier version. And I remember saying that like it was beautiful and I liked the story and everything, but the combat was not it. It just wasn't quite there yet. So I saw in this new trailer that they changed the combat. I am so happy that they took my advice and, you know, they're there to rework it and fix it, because that would have been a really bad state if they didn't. Everything looks great. There's incredible music. There's this big dramatic story about gods, demons, and all this kind of different stuff. The combat system looks wonderful too. So I just gotta say this, delaying a game in order to fix it is always a good idea. Number 24, and the last game in the Indie Quest, was Gravistar. This is a brand new announcement, and it definitely caught my attention. It looks like Star Ocean, but it has turn-based combat, which I love, and you like fly your airships and you soar around the huge world, and I've just got to say, the second that I saw that aerial exploration, I got hooked, because there just are not enough RPGs anymore that let you freely roam giant overworlds in really cool vehicles. It looks great, so I do hope that they can really deliver on the final product, right, Kupo? Yes. And then finally, number 25, we have Thermocline. Okay, you guys know me, I am normally not like into dark, gritty, psychological horror sort of things. I'm more into like bright, fun, cheery things. But this is absolutely free, so why the hell not? Of course I'm gonna play it. Like, give me a break, it's free. You know, you might as well, so whatever. Basically, you're like this lone guy on a frozen dead planet, and these monsters are hunting you down, and you have to keep like your warmth level up and your survival up and everything. So the whole setup sounds miserable, but in kind of a free way. Combat's turn-based, but it also seems, you know, a lot more survival horror than anything else. So I'm gonna check it out. I mean, it's free, why not? So that's it for the 25 indie RPGs that I'm so looking forward to from Indie Quest, and I'm sure that Kupo likes them too. Do you want to say hello to the camera, Kupo? Say hello. There we are with her little ball. She says throw my ball. So yeah. So let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to, and have a good day.